Welcome back, everybody. It has been 10 months, I believe, since we posted anything at all, and so we felt that we wanted to get back into the game and start putting out some more videos. And so what better way to do that than to give you guys an update on where we're at, what our plans are, and also answer some questions that a lot of new people in the hobby may have. These are a lot of questions that I personally have asked myself in the time that I've been learning about all of the different hobbies, whether it be aviation or ground level hobbies. These are questions I've asked myself and had to figure out on my own. And so today I wanted to start off this, what I want to call a new chapter of LANTRC, with y'all by answering these questions that I've had, so that maybe if you're new to the hobby, you can get a better understanding of it before you get confused and frustrated and give up, because this hobby to me is extremely special. I've always enjoyed working with radio controlled products, and they just bring so much joy to me. And yes, there's a lot of repairs needed sometimes. A lot of our videos in the past, you can see we've broken things, and I usually send too much power through my rigs to keep anything from breaking. So without further ado, we'll get started. And the first thing I want to bring up is for the ground level RC. Now, you may have seen in the past that we've had quite a few different small scale RC vehicles, whether it be in the air or the ground. But on ground level, one of the best beginner RCs I have had is now discontinued. But there's a new version of it. They replaced it. It was almost like it was a pre-product or something, I don't know. But they replaced it with what they sell now, and that is the LANTRC SST. Don't pay any mind to the ding-a-ling on the computer. The LANTRC SST. It was a great rig. It was really fun. It was very cheap. It starts out at $129.99 from LANTRC, and it's pretty good, but it's meant for kids and the very beginning stages of an RC. Well, they don't sell that anymore. Now what they sell is called the LANTRC PreRunner, and I bought one of those as well because my SST, ultimately the differentials blew out on it because I put the VXL system in it and all this kind of stuff. And the reason the differentials failed on it is because the planetary gears were plastic. The ring and pinion inside were metal, but the planetary gears were plastic, and you couldn't buy metal planetary gears for it. Well, shortly after I retired that rig, because I knew if I just replaced the plastic gears, it'd blow it out again. Well, soon after I retired that rig, I saw they started releasing metal sun gears for it, or planetary gears. Well, I'd already retired it, and I bought the Mini Erevo, and so I put that system into that. Well, with that in mind, I decided to look at getting a new one, and they actually sell this PreRunner. I've got it on the screen now. This PreRunner comes with metal, all metal differentials. Now, I think the metal quality, the actual material quality of the differentials may be a little bit worse than the metal that was in the original differentials. However, it's all metal. And so I've been running this thing. I immediately put the VXL system in it, you see here. It's the same one. I pulled it back off of the Erevo, and you can see that right there. So this thing needs another power system. But I went ahead and I put the VXL system that I bought for the first SST back in this one, and so far I've had zero troubles. The only trouble I've had, you can see there's blue axles on it. I put the aluminum axles from Traxxas on there because the plastic ones just snap. They really do. You can see an antenna tube here. That is me. That is a modification I've done because I took out the LANTRC original radio setup and I put in a Spectrum gyro stabilized receiver in it, and it's got a much longer antenna, so I put an antenna tube on there so I wouldn't cut my range. I also took, and the shocks pretty much had no oil in them. What oil it did have in it, it was more like water. So I took and filled the shocks up with 70 weight to begin with. That's way too much. I dropped it down to 35. It could use a little more, it might still be a little too thick for it. There's a little too much resistance, but it ultimately handles a lot better than it did. And so with that in mind, everything else about this rig, it's all stock. I glued the outside of the tires because the outside right here is not glued, and they're hollow, and mine still are. But I went ahead and glued those tires up too, so it gives it more stability. Those tires don't move on the rim or anything. But ultimately, this thing, I'm just running a 2-cell LiPo through it. Now, it comes with the nickel metal hydride from LANTRC, and I ran that until I kind of didn't really care for it, which I usually just go ahead and put a 2-cell LiPo in it, which is this. This is the Traxxas 2-cell LiPo, and it's really old. I got it from a buddy, and so there's no telling how many runs it's had on it. So it's really old, but I run 2-cell LiPo. I ended up blowing the stock brushed motor out before I replaced it with this system. But to get this LiPo in, you can't put it in the normal thing. You actually have to cut the sidewall of the chassis out to be able to fit it. Because, well, it's too big. It won't fit in the tray like it does with the nickel metal. And so I had to cut out the sidewall, which is this guy, which means you cannot use the original clamp anymore, the clip. So what I did is I just run some Velcro on the bottom of the chassis and put Velcro on the bottom of the battery. And if you are familiar at all with my aviation stuff, you're running planes and stuff, you Velcro the batteries in all the time. Not a problem. This thing handles it really well as long as you have enough Velcro. It's not going to throw the battery out that easy. And it's a really small rig anyway, so there's not going to be a whole lot of thrashing and bashing with it, with as much weight, that is, as some of the bigger ones. But that is a modification I've had to do to it in order to get it where I like it, and it performs really well. I'm looking to find some really good tires now. I'm essentially, with this thing, I'm just going to see how good of a racer I can make out of it, a track vehicle. I want to see how good this thing could possibly run on a track for as little money as possible. So as of right now, I've probably now I already had this power system, so that's not in this total. Vehicle costs $130. I've probably spent upwards of $175 on it in total. Buying the vehicle and putting upgrades into it. With the axles, I put some lube in the diffs, and so far it's been really good. I bought new pinions and stuff for the motor system and everything, and so I think it's going to be really good. It already handles really good, and so that is a great beginner thing, because right out of the box it's not very fast and it's not intimidating at all. So if you're just getting into the hobby, you want to get a fun little RC car, or if you're like me, you just want to get something that you can almost put in your pocket and just carry around with you in your vehicle and just whip it out and drive it whenever, that is a great vehicle to have on hand. And so the next thing that we want to look at, if you are looking to get into the flight aspect of beginning, more specifically like a cinematography idea of it, we would want to look at the Maverick Mini. The Maverick Mini, it starts at about $399. I bought the Fly More combo, which means it comes with 3 batteries in total. And they show you it comes with this simultaneous charging dock. You can plug it into the wall and it'll charge all 3 batteries all at the same time, and it will charge them all the way up. And then it of course shows you the amount of battery level that you have left on the front of it. I've 3D printed a few things to help me with organization. This little box here. I also 3D printed some extra some extending sticks for the sticks so I can have more control over it. All optional, but it comes with a charger, batteries. It comes with the radio here. That's for $499 for the Fly More combo. But this is the cheapest GPS drone that DJI sells, to the extent of this much accuracy. Actual brushless, outdoor capable, self-sustaining flight. I think for the value that this holds, I think this is ultimately the best rig to have. If you're looking to get into more of a freestyle or more intense style of aerial aviation, it is the Eocene Wizard 220. And now this rig, when I bought it, I spent $125 on it. Right now, you can get it for $139.28. This is the receiver ready setup. So I put my own receiver in this, and once you do that, you just bind it to your radio, get it set up like that, like you normally would, and go out and fly. But they do sell for $201.56, all on Banggood. That's the only place you can get it, as far as I know. They sell it where it comes with a radio and a battery. All you gotta have is a way to look at it. Now, I don't think they give you a screen or anything. So, no, they don't. It shows you here. It comes with a charger for your battery, the carbon fiber wrenches, and plenty of props. They give you plenty of props with it, and a radio. But you'll still need a way to look at the video through that, and they do sell goggles. So like here for $52, you can get the Eocene EV800 goggles. It's a box goggle, so it's going to feel heavy on your head, but for $52, if it's goggles that work, I don't know. Don't take my advice on getting these. Personally, I would give it a try. Reviews look pretty stinking good, so I would be willing to give that a try. It would allow you to connect to this drone, but the VTX on this drone is amazing. Now I have replaced the camera and the flight controller, because the flight controller that was in this when I first got it was not cooperating. As a matter of fact, me trying to set it up the way I normally set up my drones ended up bricking it, and it didn't quite continue working. So that can be a problem, a big problem. So I replaced that for $20, a brand new PyroDrone flight controller, plus a camera, just a little cheap camera. It's not extremely good. Sometimes it hurts my eyes to fly with it because I'm used to so much better quality. But this camera is a lot better than the one it comes with, because that one was super grainy and kind of difficult to fly with at all. So you'll probably want to upgrade the camera if you want to get into this, but this is a pretty inexpensive way to get a feel for what it's like to have a racing drone. The motors, I don't know if it's the motors or the ESCs. I'm thinking the ESCs. There's a weird tick in it as it's running up, just constant throttle, but you'll feel that it kind of has a weird tick in it every now and then. But I've been flying it quite a bit. I've had no troubles as far as the reliability of the electronics. It's a great way to start out if you want to get a cheap option for getting into freestyle or FPV racing flight. But if you're looking to get into something even more than that, you're going to be pretty well set with the Immersion Vortex 250 Pro. That was my first racing quad. Now, right now, normally they would be sold at just a listed price constantly of $499.99. However, right now on Get FPV, you can buy the Immersion Vortex 250 Pro with a zipper case for $369.99. That's a really good price, because the Vortex 250 Pro, you need, apart from buying the machine itself, you need a radio, receiver, batteries. That's it. If you've got the batteries, you've obviously got a charger. We won't get into all that. It comes with some props. You can put all sorts of different kinds of props on it. Those are cheap, but you will need to put a receiver on it and a radio, and obviously have your goggles and stuff. But this is a great machine because it comes pre-tuned with tunes from professional pilots. And you can have your pick between a few of them that are on there, or you can create your own when you start to understand it better. But it comes with a pretty decent Fat Shark camera. It comes with a good VTX that's controllable and configurable through the flight controller, like a lot of modern custom builds can do. And it comes with really good ESCs and motors. I greatly enjoyed mine, and what's better about this is you can actually upgrade it, but we'll talk about that in a minute, because right now we're in our entry-level setup. If you're looking to get into RC planes, fixed-wing stuff, then you can start out in the same way I did by getting the Hobbyzone Duet. Hobbyzone Duet is a 3-channel RC aircraft, and it actually doesn't even have a rudder. Normally a 3-channel is you have your throttle, you have your rudder, and your elevator. Well, this doesn't have a rudder. This has differential thrust. What it does, it's also gyro stabilized. And so what it does, it speeds up one motor in order to turn, and speeds the other up to turn up the other way. Fantastic rig. It really is. Right now you can get it on Horizon Hobby for $59.99. It's about the same price I paid. I think I got mine on Amazon. You can find a lot of things on Amazon. But this is a fantastic beginner model to learn how to control something in the air. And it flies pretty slow, but the only problem with it is it's extremely light, and so you won't be able to fly it outside unless there's very, very little wind. So that is the downside, but if you've got a big indoor space like a gym or something like that, you can fly it in there because it flies pretty slow and it turns really well. But if you wanted to get into something a little bit more than that even, and you wanted to learn more about what it takes to make something fly, you can actually get into DIY aircraft. So right here we have I just like this one the best, and this is one of their newer ones. They put out a video on it, and it's an amazing aircraft. And I was pretty close to buying one, but I hadn't got it yet. This is a Flighttest Simple Cub. The Simple Cub is a fantastic airframe, and this right here is a starter package. This is a package from Flighttest for $269.90. It will give you all of the foam board to make the plane yourself. That's just hot glue, barbecue skewers, and wire. Now they give you decals, wheels, a battery. It comes with a Flighttest power pack. It comes with everything you need. This starter kit right here for $269 comes with absolutely everything you need to fly this plane and get it in the air. So you get the foam board, you get the power pack, which comes with props, motors, servos, ESC, all sorts of stuff. They give you a little bitty charger, a LiPo balance charger. They give you limiter discs. Those are cool. Those are cool. It's something you can put on the radio if you're just now starting. It's very easy to overcompensate what you're doing with the sticks. So they give you these limiter discs to put on the sticks that limit their throw mechanically on the radio. They also give you the DXE 6-channel radio from Spectrum, plus a Spectrum Sport aircraft receiver and a 1300 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery. That is absolutely everything you need, possibly apart from a bind plug. I don't think they have a bind plug, but that Sport receiver might have the ability to bind without one. But they give you everything you need to get it all put together, put in the airframe, and get the airframe in the air. So it's really awesome. This is also a 3-channel plane. It's just throttle, rudder, and elevator. But this one would give you the ability to fly outdoors. It's a little heavier, a little faster, but it's extremely smooth and extremely reliable as far as flight characteristics. So it's very predictable, I should have said. So this is a great way to get into the hobby, and I think it might be the best way, because if you have enough patience and enough time to build it yourself, you start to understand what it takes to make a plane fly in the air. And so I think this is a fantastic way to get into that.